And we live. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It ain't gonna happen in this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. I'll say what's up to her.
Hello, please like, subscribe, share, all those good things. We do appreciate everybody who watches.
Absolutely appreciate you all. And if you're not subscribed to Mrs. Best, I don't know what you're doing because any videos or recaps I don't do on my channel, we do on Mrs. Best channels as like Love and Hip Hop. We went in this week. Where were y'all at? We had some live engagement, but I know all y'all ain't subscribed to her. So subscribe to my girl. Make sure we get the algorithm, the subscriber count up. She almost goes to 1,000, y'all. Support my girl. Here's her link here, and it's also in my description box. Come on now.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Jim Bunny, how you doing? Yes, 10 across the board for this thing, y'all. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was a complete 10 the entire time. Every single episode, these ladies bought it. Give
Mm,
them a raise, Andy. Give them a raise. They all deserve it. Mary more than most. But yes, they all deserve it.
I agree.
They did, because the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm so glad I decided to pick up this show this season. I was not disappointed. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode opens up with Meredith and Heather. They're at having breakfast. Meredith has her visor, some eye protector slanted, and I'm looking at Meredith like, you just have to be dramatic. And she tells Heather she has a scratched cornea. Now, how did that happen? I don't understand.
Maybe all that crying and vomiting she did, she might have wiped her eye
Right.
and sliced her cornea. I don't even want to give Meredith energy anymore. Um,
Hi, Shane.
I can't. I
Yeah, I
just,
can't with Meredith. But she apologized to Heather for the last night incident where she went off on everyone talking about her marriage and everything. She apologizes. So Heather then takes this moment to text everybody except for Lisa. They're going to have a Lisa inspired lunch where they're all going to dress like her. So they all do so. And when Lisa walks down, she is immediately shocked. She walks in mid conversation and she pauses when she looks at everybody. And when I tell you this is the cheap Party City trailer park version of Lisa that I have ever seen in impersonation, I was like, I would be insulted.
the thing is, when you're so self centered, you're just happy to see other people celebrating yourself. For me, I didn't feel it was trailer park though. That's how Lisa be looking, hell, and acting.
The wigs, come on, them Party City wigs, they could have put some effort in them wigs and got at least $30,
Why? Lisa don't put effort into her hair. She has had the same hair since she came on the show.
Yeah, but she hugs everybody and she's a good sport about it. She loves the attention and she loves Whitney's look the most. She said that Whitney needs to be a brunette. I don't, I disagree. Whitney needs to stay a blonde, but that's neither here nor there. But they all go to lunch and they're all mimicking her, talking about love that, love that. So when they sit at the table, Lisa's ordering and they're all, every time she says an item entree, everyone goes, love that. And I just felt so bad for that waiter. I was like, I know he's like, what in the hell is all of this? And I know he didn't hear all that order because you couldn't hear nothing with the ladies talking about love that, love that. And so he takes the order in. And so Heather takes this moment to say, I want, hi, Naya. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Lisa is low as she is sometimes. And sometimes she brings it, though. She does. Yes, this episode was great. So Heather says everyone should give their best impersonation. Brahma did a good job. She's like, she took a bunch of selfies because Lisa takes selfies. If you follow her on IG, you'll see that a lot. I don't follow her. I've just been told it. Angie gets up and says, oh, hey, Mary, I heard you got a new Range Rover. I could have got one too, but I decided to get a G-Wagon instead. And I'm just like, yeah, that's something Lisa would do. It's Whitney's turn. And Whitney says, oh my God, I have like $60,000 rings. And she walks away. And as she walks away, there's a tag hanging off. And Lisa goes, oh, Whitney, your tag is hanging off. And Whitney says, oh yeah, I have to return that directly. And Lisa's like, okay, that's not me. I don't return anything. And Whitney comes back to the table. And Lisa feels insulted. And she goes, what will make you do that? Like, why would you think I would return things? And um, that's what I heard. Like, that's what they're going to bring up at the reunion. I think it's true. I do. Yeah, I said G wagons are expensive. Like I know Lisa's net worth they said is about $5 million or something like that, but G wagons are like $200,000 to $300,000. So I really don't think that that's a big
John's net worth. I don't know what the hell Lisa does outside of this like liquor brand. I don't know what she does.
Yeah. But Whitney was being shady and she says, I just think you're really fake. And Lisa goes, oh, I'm fake. How am I fake? She goes, I think you are only in friendships that serve you. And once they're done serving you, you just basically discard of people. And that's pretty much how I feel. And Brittany chimes in. And Brittany says, Lisa, I don't agree with Whitney. You've been nothing but a good friend to me. I don't understand why she would even say that, Whitney. I don't agree with you. And we're all looking at the table like, who the hell asked you? And Mary said, you didn't need to chime in. You could have just sat there and just been quiet and let them go at it. And Mary said, and quite frankly, I don't understand why people are giving you the time of day when you recording us. And because they all got a little tipsy and forgotten, but I didn't forget at all. And she turns it on Mary and said, well, Mary, you were recording too. And Mary said, that's a lie. I did not record anybody. And then Heather's like, yeah, we don't record us. We don't record ourselves, Brittany. And Brittany's like, I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired of you guys always picking on me and making me feel like I'm low and all this and calling me vile. And Meredith said, that's exactly how I feel about you. You are vile. And she goes, Meredith, I didn't do anything to you and everything. I just, Meredith's like, I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Talk to the hand. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm just like, Brittany. So Brittany gets up and storms off. And when she storms off, she starts crying again, doing that, badgered white woman cry that she does. And she goes across the room and Angie gets up. And Mary looks over at Angie and was like, I know Angie ain't getting Angie. I know Angie just didn't get up and follow that girl. Y'all need to leave her alone. But Mary is pissed. Mary is pissed that Angie got up from the table and went to go follow behind Brittany. Now, at first, because you guys know, I watched this episode 3 to 4 times. At first, I thought Mary was tripping. I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. But then when I watched it the second and I saw the scene following, I said, oh, I completely get it now, Mary. I completely get why you did what you did because you are absolutely right. If I'm into it with somebody and you, my friend, and you know this lady is tripping and she's doing this tactic as a way to get attention, why can't you see that? Because that's exactly what Brittany is doing. Mrs. Best, do you agree?
Brittany is full of it. I do agree. I'm sick of talking about her.
I am too, because I'm like, why do you continue to throw these tantrums? And why do you continue to make moments that involve other people about you? I don't get it. You are weird, lady. I see why you and Lisa get along. Y'all are one and the same. Y'all are one and the same. What are y'all talking about these comments? I'm missing them. Yeah, I was with Mary. Get her. Mary was reading the hell out of Brittany. She goes, look, I know all the rest of these women was tipsy, but I'm not. And I think you got off, and I do agree with Mary. I think she did get off easy with recording them because y'all gave Monica hell.
Right.
But Brittany gets to skate off free. Okay. Y'all better address this at this reunion. That's all I know. Brittany is 9 years old. Something happened to her, to Ellie and Child. I think so too. I think so too. Mary said, I know. Mary was like, wait a minute, hold up. I know you ain't. And you have to think of it this way. Mary is telling Angie all of her personal business that shouldn't even be seen on camera. She's giving all that to Angie. And for Angie to do this, I would feel slighted too. Because me and this lady do not see eye to eye. And what she just did at this table was an attention-seeking moment. And you fed into it instead of just letting her just have her moment and not care. Because at the end of the day, that conversation had nothing to do with her. She inserted herself in there. So why would you go out there and pacify her like y'all be doing? Brittany gives me, she's supposedly crying with her hands covering her eyes and she's peeking through the fingers to see if anybody's falling for her. Exactly. That's exactly what she's doing. Mary was, I would be mad. I'm telling y'all. At first I thought Mary was tripping. I did. But then when I watched it the second and then the third time, I said, no, Mary was not tripping at all. That is exactly how she should feel about Angie. And I would have been too. Um, so the ladies then break apart into two groups. So Mary, Meredith, Lisa, and Bronwyn go horseback riding. And then Heather, Whitney, Angie, and Brittany decide to go to take a cooking class. I think they were making ceviche. She does, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying because it's like, lady, just sit there, eat your food. Nobody's even talking to you. Be quiet. So it was funny to see them all because them horses was agitated with these women. They're like, horses can sense bad energy. I hope you guys know that's why I don't ride horses. Because you never know what a horse can sense about you. And I don't want a horse to be wrong about me. So that's why I don't get on them.
They're not gonna be wrong. That's what people say they're gonna avoid it. You got that horse ain't gonna be wrong. The animals sense that in people in general.
Because Meredith was giving her the blues. I said, yeah, Meredith. And so was Brahmins. And I'm not gonna lie, Bronwyn actually won me over this episode. I'll get to that in a minute. I actually see it for Bronwyn again. I didn't know if I was ever going to because she was moving funny, but she back on my good side. I rode a horse one time. I've never ridden a horse.
Mm.
I don't have any desire to. So, but yeah, I, I've been in a carriage. I've been in a horse carriage before, but I've never actually got on top of a back of a horse. I've never done it. So as the ladies are doing their adventures, and Heather cracked me up because Heather says she microwaves hot dogs. And I said, Heather,
Mm.
say you can't cook without saying you can't cook. But to say a microwave hot dog, does anybody like a microwave hot dogs, Mrs. Best?
I don't think you're supposed to microwave hot dogs. If
I
you look
don't.
at the packaging, you're not supposed to put them in the microwave. That's what I thought. I'm not a big hot dog person in general.
Me either.
Um, yeah. But
I'm
I'm
like,
not surprised. I'm not surprised. And she wondering, I've never been able to lose the weight. And now she's like, I can lose weight now that I'm on Ozempic. Well, bitch, maybe you was unable to lose the weight because you over here microwaving hot dogs and things.
right, because that's so unhealthy and just
That's
nasty.
nasty. Yeah.
Like that's just when she that bothered me when she said, like, when you rewatch the episodes, you think you didn't hear what you heard, and then you hear it again, and then a third time, you're like, that's just nasty. So her face had damn. So the ladies then we get to the final scene because it took literally 35 minutes for this whole entire scene, and I got every part of my life with this scene. So the ladies then crowd around the table because it's their final night in Puerto Vallarta, and everyone's ordering their food. And once the food comes, Bronwyn has noticed that Mary's pizza is avocado pizza, and it looks really good. And so Angie leans over to the table. She said, Mary, you want a piece of pepperoni pizza? And Mary ignores her. And Angie was first taken back by it. She goes, Mary, no, Mary, you don't want a piece of this pizza, Mary? And Mary just nodded her head and was like, I'm not talking to her. I'm not talking to her. Oven, water, or pan for hot dogs. If I eat a hot dog, it has to be barbecued on the grill. That's the only way I would eat one. Like, it has to be barbecue, and even then, I have to know the brand of it, and I need to read like the ingredients. Like, I'm very weird when it comes to hot dogs, because I
The
don't eat.
oven, the water, the pan, that is the correct way to make hot dogs, and the
Mhm.
barbecue grill. If you're doing anything else, I wonder and I worry. That's it. But the grill is it tastes best on the grill.
Yes, it tastes. Yes, because then I can kind of maneuver what I'm eating. But I air fry so much these days. I'm gonna get one again. I had one when I was in Florida. I'm gonna get one again. But anyways, moving on, y'all. So Angie goes, well, Mary, why are you being so cold towards me? And Mary said, because you ran after Brittany after you've known me and her do not see eye to eye, and you went and chased after her. Like, why would you do that? And Angie was like, well, Mary, I didn't know. And, I just want to let you know, I really value our friendship. Like, we've been through so much, and you've introduced me to so much. And I just let you know, like, you really have changed my life. Now, I believe Angie in this moment. I do. But what I wanted Mary to tell her was, you know that a trigger for me is when you're not loyal. And in that moment, that lady inserted herself in a conversation that had nothing to do with her. And I'm sick of her doing it because she's done this the entire time. And then when she runs and cries, everyone babies her as if she's two.
Mm.
I wish Mary would have gave it to her like that, because then maybe Angie would have looked at it like, okay, yeah, she is manipulating me with her tears. Because that's what that's called. It's called manipulation like tears. White women are very good at it. They really are, because everybody believes them.
Mm.
And why the destruction of this country usually is from that. I'm just saying. Angie, you just read that lady fulfilled high body count here. That's what I'm, and that's another thing. That was another thing. Them tears wouldn't move me. Like they wouldn't. Like I would have, when I tell you, me and Mrs. Best would sit there and just look at her like,
The thing
ain't
of it is, I personally, so I did not like Angie in earlier seasons because I felt like she was trying to keep up with the Mean Girls Club, which is the rest of the cast. But what made me warm up to Angie since kind of having to watch the show to be on these lives, because I didn't watch it prior to the lives, is I see that she is the one who really is a girl's girl. If her
mhm.
girl is beefing with somebody, then she gonna beef with them. If her girl's into it with someone, she's gonna defend them. So I feel like deep down, Angie is actually somewhat of a nice person. I also feel like Angie is super aware of how things may look and come off. And I believe Brittany is crying these BS ass white woman tears, but I think Angie realizes that that will be received from the audience in some type of way. And she doesn't want to look like a bully. I'm sick of Brittany. Mary, listen, just because people do something that you don't like doesn't mean you just refuse to talk to them and shut them out. Trauma's not an excuse. What you went through in your life is not an excuse because you're big enough to understand the difference. You can not continue a friendship with somebody without just ignoring them as you tried to do with Angie. But Angie, I think, just makes and says, like I said at the beginning of the season, and people was mad at me in the comments, got with her little scroll, like she does things for a moment on the show, and I feel like that high body count hair might have been part of that versus actually being genuine in how she feels. Um, but yeah, as someone who works in mental health, if I were to ever meet Brittany, especially the way she pulls shit and then cries, those are sociopathic tendencies that worry me, and I would be wanting to put her on a psychiatric hold as soon as possible. And I understand why her kids are not with her as often as kids would usually be with a parent. I don't think her kids are safe with her. And people may be like, well, Mrs. Best, that's a lot. However, people seem to think, oh, I don't beat my kid. They got a roof and clothes, and that's enough. But having a parent that's emotionally immature is incredibly dangerous for a kid and damaging. And Brittany is every bit of emotionally, physically, she's just immature. I can't stand her.
I agree, and well said. That was very well said. That was very astute of you. Naya mentioned about the abandonment thing, because Mary did bring that up, that she was abandoned by her father. Her father did not want her, and he left. And then her mother, you guys know her mother's story. If you guys don't, you can Google it. Her mother pretty much abandoned her when she married Robert Sr. because her mom wanted to marry Robert Sr.
All of it is
And
weird.
and I was like, and that's why I don't want to talk about it, because I'm like, just saying it out my mouth, it's like, wait, what? Oh, okay. We're gonna move on for that. But I felt for Mary in that moment because you could tell that's something that really is, eating at her, and I want her to go to therapy. I know pastors and people of the cloth and religious and beliefs and everything, y'all shy away from therapy, but y'all really need to be going, because you need to treat that as soon as possible. So we then move on in the conversation, and Meredith brings up to Whitney that, she wanted to address, the rumors about Lisa, and how Whitney believes this blogger that said that Lisa spread the rumor about her jewelry company being somewhat sponsored or manufactured by Alibaba. She wanted to address that. She says, I have seen this blogger several times, and he said that he's never told you it was directly Lisa. And Whitney responds and said, no, he did say, like, he didn't allude to it, but he did say that Lisa does feed information to bloggers. And I know that she has done that several other times as well. And Lisa's like, you're lying. I never do that. I never talk to bloggers and I never talk to anything of anybody. And she goes, no, you did. You fed information to Reality Von Tees. You also spread the information about Jen and also things and, specific details and everything. And Heather's like, well, how do you know that information? And Whitney says, I reached out to Monica. And production and Bravo in that call center, y'all dropped the ball on this one. Let me tell y'all why y'all dropped the ball on this one. It would have been the gag of the century after she mentioned Monica's name to have Monica come out and confirm it herself. When I tell you that would have been explosive, it would have put y'all ratings through the roof. Because then they all would have to have dealt with Monica and see her and call her a liar to her face and see what she would have done. But Heather, oh yeah, Heather was mad. Heather was mad. Heather was heated. She goes, so you just going to just talk with this snake and just get information from her? And I said, Heather,
I
that's
mean,
rich.
they talk to you, Heather.
Okay, that's rich coming
Hiss,
from you.
hiss.
Mary to be in the edibles and goes, oh, damn, talk to Jen. The rumors and the astronauts. I'm just like, Meredith, that was stupid to even bring that up. Because in hindsight, Whitney never said directly, and I rewatched the episode. Whitney never said directly this man said Lisa's name. She said that she had to pry for information to see who it could have been that, said the rumor, and she basically gave a description of every ladies. And when she said, does this person have a tequila company? He said yes. Lisa's the only person on this cast that has one, so she was right to assume that it would have been her. But she never directly said that he told her Lisa did this. She said she had to pry for information. That is two different things. I just wanted to clarify that is two different things because when I thought about it, I was like, I don't remember Whitney ever saying that the man said it was Lisa specifically. I remember her saying she had to pry for information to see if it was true. So, Heather, you were in the mix with my. She was feeding hair. What was the hairdresser's name? Tanisha, some
Heather
shit
is
like
the
that. Yeah.
main person who was the closest to this so-called reality Von Tease that she was so
Right.
upset about. And I think that's why the cast fought so hard to get Monica off the show because
Mm-hmm.
it would have exposed every single one of them for
Yep.
something. But the only one who has enough integrity to admit that they may have done something or dealt with a blog or talked to a blog, unfortunately, I never thought I'd say that, seems to be Whitney. I don't think Mary deal with them people. I really don't, unless
No,
they came to
Mary
her and
don't
said.
deal with it.
But
Mary
yeah, the
mind her
rest of
business.
the rest of these ladies are the most guilty, and I think the people feeding the blogs the most stuff consistently is Meredith and Lisa.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. So Heather gets on her soapbox and feels like she doesn't want anybody to come in between the ladies and outside people and bloggers. She thinks that that's what's destroying their relationship. So Heather has this bright idea to have all of the ladies to get to their phones and find something they have said nasty about the other ladies. And what they're going to do is they're going to do a clean slate. Now, at first, when I watched it the first time, I said, Heather, you is the messiest woman of all. But then when I watched it the second and third time and it saw what the actual exercise ended up being, I actually thought it was kind of clever of Heather. I really did. I thought it was really clever of her to do this. Now, I'm gonna read each one, and when I tell you, out of all of them that I wrote down because I reread it, Angie's was the most fucked up out of everybody's. Angie needed to get cussed out, and I'm so mad at Bronwyn for not doing it. What did I say in the chat before I read these? Whitney is done healing and swinging for Lisa. Like, I would too. I would come after Lisa as well. Because at the end of the day, Lisa thinks she's slick. And because she has that aggressive bark, no one's going to press her. She needs somebody that's going to give her a run for her money. And I felt like Monica could have did it, but Monica didn't really get the fair chance to really be on this show and come after Lisa the way that we know she could have. So Andrew, she is. But let me so Mary starts it off and she gives her phone to Heather and she goes, Heather, this is what I said about you. And it says, from day one, I never felt accepted by her since I've been in this group. She changed when she became successful. I think it went to her head. She started getting aggressive and referring back to all the things she accomplished and threw it in our faces. Instead of being grateful for her blessings, it changed her to become competitive and super mean. All while she enjoyed to lean of the fame, she's forgotten the people who helped her get to where she is. And if you're truly happy and proud of her, like I have been and I always will be, I said, oh, I said, Mary. And I didn't feel like it was me. I felt like it was astute. I feel like that's exactly what it is. Heather did let fame get to her head. She did. And
It's
she has
literally
to.
the reason that people do not like her anymore. It's
Right.
literally the reason people don't feel she can come back from it. And then she doubled down on some of her choices in a documentary about a drug that she really didn't need. So I was actually glad to see Mary say that to Heather because
Mhm.
nobody else on this cast would have the courage or integrity to tell her that. When you could tell when these women get into it with Heather or Heather does something that they know that she gets away with hell and they know that she's changed, but it's almost like they were afraid because just 2, 3 seasons ago, Heather was so far up Jen Shaw's ass that she would have had a wing in the prison cell as well. So
Absolutely.
good Mary. Very good.
I felt like that was brilliant of Mary. Y'all, Mary don't get enough credit on this show. She does it because it was spot on. It was exactly what is going on with Heather, and she's never wrong about Heather. Anytime Mary has called out something about Heather, it has been 100% fact. And I live for Mary for this because y'all, this is why we love her. This is why she's one of my favorite housewives because she don't do nothing but call a spade a spade. So Brittany goes next, and her message is addressed to Mary. And it says, I would like to invite Bronwyn to tea instead of Mary tomorrow. And everybody looked like, what? That's the meanest thing you have in your phone? Now, I call bull. I don't think that's the meanest thing that she had on her phone. But because she don't want to go up against Mary, because she's scared of Mary on the low, she decided to pull out something out of her phone that was just so random. Because in the Mary's face towards her, yeah, I was literally on the floor because it was like, duh, Mary wasn't going to your house. Mary wasn't gonna fool with you. Yeah, I can't take her either because she is just so crazy. But I feel like she is definitely coming back next season as a full time housewife. There's no question in my mind. It was like,
Honestly, I would take Brittany over Meredith.
me too.
I
Absolutely.
think Meredith is really, really done. I think she's incredibly shady. I'm done with this woman and her lack of a
Absolutely.
rear end.
So the next person that goes up is Bronwyn because Bronwyn says she has something to address to Brittany. And Bronwyn's message read, Brittany is an emotional manipulative. She parentifies her children, trauma bonds, and relationships, and is doing it to us. It's below her intelligence level and age maturity level, and it makes me feel nervous and furious and embarrassed for her. I didn't see the lie. I didn't see a lie. Bronwyn was spot on. So I was like, and
Bronwyn and Mary are people that this cast needs to fear because they know how to read you for filth without insulting you, without talking about your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your childhood trauma. They will appropriately read you without being bullies. The rest of these ladies bully each other and then run to a blog and then get mad at each other about it.
absolutely. And I was like, there you go, Brahman. That was perfectly said. Brittany, of course, gets in her feelings. She goes, that is the meanest thing anyone's ever said about me. Like, I can't believe that was just so low. It's so heinous, Brahman. And Brahman said, look, okay, if you want me to see a different side to you, I'm open to doing that. But I said what I said and I ain't changing it. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what Brahman was saying because that's the look she was giving her. So it was like, and I agree because I'm like, look, if you want me to see something different, then be different. But until then, this is what I see, and this is what it is. So that's why I can't go on the show because they would execute me. She does. Yeah. This is what made me like her again because this is who I liked in the beginning. I don't know what she was trying to do with Lisa, but this is the wrong one that I like, and she needs to stay like this coming back next season.
I think Brahma and Lisa's friendship, I don't think it's fully based on the two of them. I feel like Bronwyn and Lisa are only friendly because maybe Bronwyn was somewhere with the husband or something, and Lisa was somewhere with her husband. But I don't think they ever had that good or deep of a friendship.
I don't think so either. I think she just knew Bronwyn had money, knew she had good taste
Yeah.
some of the time. And I just felt like that's what she wanted for the show. She felt like she was a perfect fit. And I do think Bronwyn is a good fit. I do. But she needs to align with Mary, Angie, and Whitney more so than Lisa, Meredith, and Heather.
Yeah. It's
I
time for
think
them to
that's
go.
it. Yeah, I think that's her. I think that's her clique. I think that's her lane. Um, we all know who the child and parent is in Britney's situation. Child, dude, yeah. I'm trying to tell you that that lady is so immature. It's crazy. Angie goes next, and when I tell y'all, I was not ready for this. I was not ready for this. And she says, her message goes, I like her business plan, marrying a guy who has one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. But I like mine better. I'd rather be self made. She's nice, but she doesn't listen because her ears are stitched down to her face so tight she can't hear anything. She wore a hot dog outfit to remind us she sucked her way up to the top.
I was disgusted with that from Angie because at the same time, I do feel like Angie's a girl's girl, but I also feel like she's someone who will follow the leader, if y'all know what I'm trying to say. And that's why I didn't like her in earlier seasons. But it's okay. It's one thing to talk about somebody's husband. It's another thing to speak about them potentially not having long life on the long left on the planet and going to the upper room. The things that Angie said were just unnecessary. Also, Angie, you call yourself self-made, but you built your business with the help of your spouse. You are not self-made. That's what a lot of people do when they're in marriages that are well, their spouses support them. But let's go back to how Bronwyn met Todd. She
Once
met
again,
him at work.
yes,
She is self made. So it's unfortunate that when it comes to women specifically, if we are successful in our own right and single, people will acknowledge that and then use our success as the reason that we are single. But as women, if you are a married woman and you have great success, right? Then people will automatically assume that that success either came from your spouse or from the help with the help of your spouse. And
right,
they forget the work that you had to put in yourself. And Bronwyn was in college, did not stop, pregnant, had a baby, a man that just abandoned her as well as her family, and still made no excuse to complete college and met her man while at work. Angie, there are rumors that your man might like men. So you should probably think before you speak. The other thing is Angie and Bronwyn have something in common, in my opinion, because they will both attack each other, just trying to stay in good graces with Lisa. And Lisa don't give a flying fuck about either of them.
right. Honestly, Angie could be a low key friend of in Rauche back in the golden era, maybe. But I just didn't like this. I did not like it, and if I was Bronwyn, me and her couldn't come back from this. We couldn't because it's one thing to say something mean, but that what I just read was completely vile. Like that was so uncalled for. I don't care how you felt about me.
There's nothing that girl did to her to even warrant
Right.
that type of comment. But I feel like people are thinking, oh, Bronwyn didn't cuss her out. Bronwyn is probably tired. Every time these women do something or say something disrespectful, she gets at them, she curses them out, she does what she has to do. But if somebody says something about you that's so low, what is the point in cursing you out? You said what you said, you feel how you feel. There's nothing that Angie can do that will help her to recover from this with Bronwyn. And some people don't understand that sometimes quiet, silence, that's why Bronwyn said, I think that's how you feel. Stand on it. Don't just say sorry. Because you wouldn't have said nothing if this woman didn't bring it up. There's no point to go off on her. Let her have it.
Oh, I hope he addresses this at the reunion. I hope he does because that was so crazy that she would even say that man got one foot in the grave and another on a banana peel. Y'all, that is crazy to say to somebody or about somebody. No, it's okay. I mean, Yeah, definitely watch the playback, my love. But I'm happy you still made it because we still got a couple more things to talk about. So you're good. You're good. Um, Let me go ahead and read the next one. So Heather addresses Whitney. And when Whitney reads it, Whitney immediately starts crying. And it says, Whitney is a low life, thirsty piece of shit. She's a snake and she sold her soul for fame and recognition, just like you did. She's a snake and I should have never trusted her. I've been so stupid and loyal carrying her stupid waterless products, even though we've never sold one. I said, Heather. I said, Heather. Regardless of however you feel, this is you. You and her are the same person. You and her are literally blood related. Y'all did the exact same thing. And it's funny how you were in your confessional saying that you now have boundaries and you now have become a good person for the fame, but you just did and said the same thing Mary said about you to Whitney. It's the same thing. So you're a hypocrite. I just wanted to point that out. Heather's a big hypocrite because they're no different from each other. And
That
that's
should have
why they
been the first thing you pointed out with this whole activity. I know people are like, yes, great idea. Heather saved herself, came up with this. I wish our subscriber who works in studying human behavior was here because she would back me up on this. Heather, even bringing up this activity, vile.
yes.
Why, when people are at the height of drama and at the height of anger and emotion, would you think that you can solve problems by having these women read stuff to each other that they've said that's bad? How would you expect for these women to even be honest about showing the worst thing? Because I'm sure there's worse in those phones. The whole suggestion that Heather brought up, in my opinion, for these ladies to do the activity was her way of manipulating the audience and the women. She's a freaking bully. um, I'm not surprised she said that. If Heather is say that about her own blood, the rest of these women was not paying attention. If she will do and say this about her own blood, what will she do for everything? Right, Dr. Jen, it's a recipe for disaster. And anybody with common sense would have saw and felt that when they came on. Like as soon as they said that on the episode, I said, "Oh, here we go." Everything I predicted happened. I knew Heather and Lisa wouldn't do it. I knew that Heather would say something awful, her and Angie. It was just a bad thing to do. This is why you let the professionals do what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. What does a banana peel mean? It means that he slipped as far as not having a prenup, not having any security safety for himself. So when she says he has one foot in the grave and one on the banana peel, she basically is implying that Bronwyn's going to benefit either way. And she's calling the man stupid, pretty much. That's what that means. Yeah, it's a bad metaphor to use because if he really loves her, I don't see what the big deal is. Once again.
Maybe, maybe Angie's just mad that her husband can't marry somebody without a prenup without worry. Like that man
Mhm.
probably rich as hell and don't even care.
Right. Exactly. So Heather and Whitney decide they're going to start anew again, and they pretty much go. So Whitney addresses hers to Lisa, and Lisa said that I mean, not Lisa, Whitney said that she feels bad about this because this is something that really eats away at her. And she feels like it's the worst thing that she could have ever have encountered with Lisa's name on it. And she just wanted to clear the air. So Lisa reads the message and it says, so I was at a party because it was addressed. She was sending a text to Angie. She says, so I was at a party with Justin and a woman approached us saying that if we ever wanted to bring a third, she's our girl. In fact, John and Lisa can vouch for her because she has made out with Lisa while jerking off John. Baby, why she read that message? Because Lisa had it. Lisa said, "Oh my God, like I cannot believe that you did this. I cannot believe that that is not true." And when I tell you, Lisa was crying, she was pouncing, she was hyperventilating. It was crazy, and I was like, Lisa, do you not understand the assignment? And see, Heather, this is what your messy ass get. Because you knew this shit was not going to go well. No matter what, no matter what Whitney did, it was going to be crazy regardless. Um, She was one step from fighting Whitney. Like when that wig pulled, she tried to pull off that wig. She wants to fight Whitney at this point. She goes, "All of you are just coming for my marriage." And Whitney's like, "No, I'm just trying to say I felt bad about that lady saying that and that I heard that. And this is the thing I felt the most guilty of." And either Heather's trying to tell Lisa, "Hey, no, we told her to do this. Like, this was the point of the assignment." Lisa's not hearing it. Lisa's not hearing this at all. Lisa say, "You guys are always attacking me, always attacking my marriage. Why couldn't you say something about me? Why did you have to drag marriage?" Now, I did understand that part of it. I did, because the assignment was to talk about the individual. Why bring John in it? But like Brown was said, we like John like the next person. But just because that he's not exempt from this, like he's a part of you, and you can dish it, but you can't take it. Pretty much is what Brown was saying. And Lisa, and she basically calls Lisa a narcissist, which I agree. Like, because that's crazy how you're supposed to agree to what Heather is saying about this being something we're trying to let go, but in fact that it came from Whitney, you don't want to do that. So Lisa gets off and storms off, and she's had it. Meredith with her old flimsy ass gets up. She goes, "I'm tired of this. Take this off of me. I can't take this anymore." And I'm just thinking, looking at these fools, and Heather was like, "This is not what I wanted." And it was like, well, what did you expect to happen? What did you expect? Can we talk about the fact that production cut out what Lisa said about Mary because of what said about Mary's son was nasty? Was this the moment that it happened? What? Because I thought someone said it happened at the camping trip. So this was the moment that where Mary called her son the R word because Lisa alluded to her son dealing drugs. So this is when this happened. It wasn't at the camping trip, because you would have never known Lisa and Mary would have been had a tip, because it just seemed like they were just coexisting. Um, Making sure she don't have another hot mic moment. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what she was doing. I thought it was too. I thought that's what everybody was saying, that that happened at the camping trip, because you couldn't tell that those two were really at it with each other at all at that table. It seemed like she was more pissed off at Whitney, and honestly, y'all, and this is my opinion, and I'm asking Mrs. Best her opinion. I think whoever that lady was that talked to Whitney, I believe her based on Lisa's reaction. I believe it. I don't know why I believe it, but I do, because of Lisa's reaction. It felt like Whitney just exposed some deep, dark secret that was only supposed to be between John, Lisa, and that lady. But I believe it. I do. Mrs. Best, how did you feel?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, I particularly don't care or see the relevance, but I'm tired of Bravo cutting out things that who they view as their favorite privileged housewives, cutting out the awful things that they do in an effort to protect them. I don't think Lisa is happy in her marriage, and I don't think that John is as good of a Mormon as he tries to make himself out to be. If he was, his wife simply would not be on the show, and neither would he. As quiet as it's kept.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a true, true, true Mormon. But yeah, I'm Lisa is the perfect example of the term she can dish it out, but she cannot take it. Lisa has attacked Meredith's marriage. Lisa has spoken about Jen Shaw's marriage in the past. Lisa has spoken about Mary's relationship heavily. Lisa has spoken about every single person's marriage, children, and businesses. But anytime anyone has anything small to say about her, she screams, she hollers, and then she runs off. And quite frankly, I don't care. Just be after her hot mic moment seasons ago, I was like, oh, people love that, and now it's going to her head.
Yep.
They do give swingers. I do agree with
I do
that,
too.
Dr. Jen. I
Yep.
absolutely agree, especially with the fact that you're not going to sit here and be mad every time somebody talks about your husband when your husband got with his girlfriend's sister. That's how I view
Boom.
it. Like if you
Thank
take
you.
her out of it, that's how I view it. That's not a very Mormon thing to do. So, if you're going to preach this and that about how great your husband is and how into his religion he is and how you're a remix Mormon or whatever the hell she says, fine. But be about what you preach about. And Lisa has never been that, and neither has John. And he can't parallel park, and that is extremely unattractive. He also looked like he come quick. I said it. So yeah.
Well, I wasn't ready for that read. Y'all,
It
give it
wasn't
clap
a
for Mrs.
read.
Best. Give
Oh
a
my
clap for
god.
Mrs. Best. Y'all give my girl a clap
Oh
because
Lord.
that was a read. If I had never, what a way to end this live. I
Oh
can't
my
even say
gosh.
nothing. I can't even say nothing. This is why she's my best friend, y'all. She gonna keep it real. She gonna keep it real. Y'all show Mrs. Best some love right now. Heart and heart, like the video. Show my girl some love because she went the hell in.
I didn't even
And I
mean
loved it.
to. It's the
No,
truth.
no, I loved every part of that. I'm sorry. I can't even, no, I can't even, there's nothing I can say now. But y'all, as much as I love this live and as much as I love this season,
Not yet.
now you on timeout. You on timeout. You on time she got a burn.
I'm sick of Lisa. That's all it is. I'm sick of Lisa. I'm tired of John. From the little replays we see, or not replays, but the little, what do they call it? Sneak previews of the reunion. I feel like it will be a good reunion. I will say Salt Lake City was my least favorite franchise. They are the least paid franchised as well. I definitely feel like Bravo should up the salary of these ladies. And they gave and they've been giving, and a lot of the other franchises are giving nothing. So
Yes. But in the midst of it, Lisa calls out Angie, talking about, putting her in the middle of this, talking about that Sean fucks circle jerks, which, allegedly, I believe that, by the way. I've always believed that rumor. I'm sorry. He looked like it. He looked like when you go to the gym, that's the moment to do it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I said allegedly. I don't know that man business like that, but he do give that energy. Angie get mad. She threw them flowers at her. She was ready to fight. And it's a three-part reunion. It's a three-part reunion. It is, and I can't wait. But yes, y'all, this season finale was so funny and top tier. Good job once again to the Salt Lake City. And that's pretty much the episode, y'all. Production, you need a raise. When y'all come back next season, Bravo better pay y'all exactly what y'all request for. Because y'all just saved this network with the Housewife franchise. We now are believers that whoever this production team is needs to go to everybody else. Because this was a phenomenal episode. And I'm going to say it like this: bring Monica back. Bring Monica back. Because I feel like I need her to redeem herself since y'all mentioned her this season.
they're all involved. Bravo is getting sloppy. They need to realize that every lady is equally responsible for everything that Reality Von Teese does. They're mad at Monica, but Monica and Reality Von Teese would not even be able to have content or to do what they did if these ladies did not provide it to that outlet. Whitney has proven that, and I think that at that reunion last season, that's why Whitney was the one who was more receptive to actually hearing what Monica had to say. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
say she has some type of integrity. I still don't like bobblehead, but she has some type of something. For all of this to happen in this episode, if Bravo doesn't bring back Monica, that would be foolish. You should never allow your cast to control who's hired and fired from a show. That's when you get rid of people. I felt they should have done it with Candy, and I feel like they should do it with this cast. You are the help. You are the talent, okay? You're not the producers. So stop letting these heifers produce.
Now it's your birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Yes,
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday.
I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, get some rest, but have a great birthday. We love you. And, joys to a new year. Lisa mad at Angie for not doing what you wouldn't do for exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Jen, keep it. Have fun. Okay, I read this one already. No problem, love. Happy birthday. But this is it, you guys. This was the episode. It was very fun. I will say this once again. Thank you all for being here. Like the video, get my algorithm going. Subscribe to my channel. If you are not subscribed to me, please go ahead and do so. And my next live will be Love and Marriage Huntsville on Sunday. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. And I will see you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.